I have so many questions about charts and no one to help me. If only there was a place I could go to learn which doesn't cost a fortune.
There is such a place. It's my Patreon. It's £7.50 a month and you get 2 live streams a week. Ask me anything you like about any chart that you want.
What about trading platforms?
Well, in the video description I've got a link for all the best ones and you can get up to 20% off all your trading fees for life.
Thanks CryptoClick, you demand bro.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at Bitcoin and a bit of an overview on traditional markets as usual. So yesterday I was sort of talking about how I feel as though the rest of the market and Bitcoin and crypto is going to behave this week. And so far things are working out already. So if we have a look at oil, is already bouncing from more or less the open at the moment. $85 a barrel. That more or less was my target. Whether it gets hit or not, I don't really care. I would have loved to have seen it get hit. I would have opened a position on it, but if it doesn't, no big deal. I'll see if I can get in later. I see this moving up this week to 100 to maybe 104, 105. There's no reason why this wouldn't happen at this stage, because as we talked about the everything bounce, and now I tried to coin the phrase the everything drop or the everything crash, we're looking at NASDAQ here, and there's an inverse correlation, isn't there? We looked at oil, we got the top at 120, and now we also got the bottom on stocks and indexes. Now what we're looking for is the reversal of this. Doesn't mean that everything comes down to a crashing zero and oil trades at 50,000 million billion trillion dollars a barrel. It just means that there's an inverse correlation mostly, and I think we're going to see a move out of stocks and indexes and risk assets and back into energy. It seems as though that's the more appropriate move. First of all, immediately, we will probably have a little zigzagging around as they battle between the two. I think that I don't think we're ready to completely break down on stocks and crypto, absolutely not. But the switcheroo between the two, I think, is in the pipeline. So let's have a think about Bitcoin, because if it wasn't for all this madness on traditional markets and commodities and the CPI data coming out this week on Wednesday, I would actually be really bullish on Bitcoin the way that it looks. We moved all the way up to push this resistance level again. It makes more sense when you're looking at the daily how significant this little area is. Resistances are there to be broken. You know, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times that we've tested it. 10 times tested this resistance in how many days? 10 times in 20 days. So usually the rule is the more times you hit a resistance or a support, the more likely it is to break. I mean, that's quite a lot of knocking on the door of this 23,800 zone. I mean, we've been we've been begging to get through this resistance for a long time now. That's quite a lot of times that we've hit a specific area and not broken it. But if you think about it in terms of a formation, again, look at this Bollinger Band center. We've got ourselves an ascending triangle, which is a bit more bullish than a descending one, obviously, as the supports get higher each time. So you'll be looking for this to break as far as statistical likelihood is concerned. And again, it's not massively statistically likely. It's just more than none. so those break out more often than they break down, let's face it. But as you saw, we're getting quite close to the end of what would be the apex, the end of the formation, which offers a fake out and break down scenario. You always want to break out of a formation before about 70% of the way through. That shows real strength. If you're withering around at the end, it's less likely to work. I mean, that could also form a breakdown and like a fake breakdown and a breakout, so it's not as bad as it looks. Other good things is we're still bouncing around this trend line, so our RSI is still continuing with its momentum. We've got a fresh cross on the histogram so far, and we are pointing a little bit up on the daily. So like I say, if it wasn't for traditional markets, I'd be in favour of the way that this looks. I actually quite like the look of it. What else do we have here? If we just zoom in a little closer, we've got ourselves a Chiku span crossing outside of the cloud. We got above the cloud over here. Are we green? Ah, no, that's a shame. That's a shame. We could have been looking at a pump signal, but we don't have a green portion of the cloud coming, so that's no big deal. We did get a retest of the golden cross again, though, so that was something that we've seen. So there is a lot about Bitcoin to suggest that we are bullish. I'm just heavily skeptical because of everything else that's going on in the world right now. CPI coming through. and inverse correlation between oil and NASDAQ. So I'm more into the energy trade, oil and natural gas, than I am trying to trade crypto and stocks. As you all know, last Friday I did take all my stocks off the table from this everything bounce. So that is done now. I'm happy for it to continue without me and then build an uptrend and we can continue with that. And that's often the case as far as I'm concerned. I would rather get back in at a higher level with more solid and sturdy uptrend than hold from the bottom, even though I bought the bottom with the hope that we break out and go on further. Obviously that would be a dream, but from a trader's perspective, you do have to take profit, and I take profit at resistances. So there we go. I think oil is the trade, I'm afraid, and stocks and crypto take a back seat now. I do think that this resistance is going to prove to be yet again another resistance. I don't think we're going to break down massively from here. I just think that we're going to have an inverse effect as oil moves up and risk assets, stocks and whatnot move down. And we only really need to be afraid when we start to break down below 21,600. And even that's not afraid. And it's a shame because of all these altcoins that have epic setups. We're up from yesterday. We're talking about Chainlink on the live stream, weren't we, on Friday? So we're already up just 9% just today. Epic gains. Jasmine, epic chart, epic gains. Ethereum, well, getting its golden cross on its way. Matic, pump signal, probably yet to play out. Even KCS is reacting from its golden cross. So there's so much going on in this market, but unfortunately it's difficult to want to play it when you see the world the way that I see it, which is basically a battle between energy and equities. So let's leave it with you there. To be honest with you, I'm happy to sit back and not trade this week until the CPI is printed, see what's going on after that. But if I were to call it, I'd say Bitcoin sideways and down, stocks sideways and down, oil up, Dixie up. But nothing dramatic until at least Wednesday. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.